Peace, family. How's everybody doing? I hope you all are having a wonderful Monday. I am recording this on the day of Monday, the 24th. And I am going to discuss Mars entering Capricorn. Now, I actually like this transit. I think this is going to be great for this time. It's going to go it's almost like a perfect storm, of alignment of planets here to have for a time like this, because this is really going to help us once we get more clarity when all these retrogrades begin to pick up speed and go direct, So I'm really, really excited about this transit. I might be a little all over the place with my my little talking points. I didn't really have enough time to put things in specific order. So if I repeat myself in anything, just be patient with me and I'll get through it eventually. It'll be painful, but worth the while. I always try to make sure I put enough information in there so you guys have some idea of what to expect. So, my name is Keisha. I am the owner of A Way of Life. I am a career and business coach using astrology. Mars enters Capricorn today until March 6th. That's a good period of time to have this energy. Mars rules our motivation, drive, passion, and sexuality. It's also the ancient ruler of Scorpio. And Mars, from the Scorpio perspective, breaks things down and digs deep for things. It can be very intense and passionate. It can also be very volatile with Scorpio. So we'll talk a little more about that and how that could be showing up. Capricorn is ruled by Saturn, and Saturn is the ancient ruler of Aquarius. So we're currently in Aquarius season. And we had that Mercury retrograde in Aquarius. And so as that planet Mercury goes back into Capricorn, we're still going to be taking into account all of the lessons and messages from that energy, and we're going to be able to again put them into play with this Mars and Capricorn energy. It's really going to allow us to take the goals and things that we've been working on and accomplish them, manifest them in the material world, because Capricorn is an earth sign, and anything that you do with Capricorn is materializes in the real world and their long-term effects. So again, I am like, yes, this is like the perfect, I promise you guys, this is like the perfect storm. So this is going to be really good for getting things done, especially things around career and business. Obviously with Capricorn, that's the most popular. I won't say the main thing. I'll say that's the most popular thing that Capricorn rules, your career and business area of life. And we'll also be making mature decisions, right? Because Capricorn is about maturity. We'll be responsible with those mature decisions, and we'll have discipline when it comes to accomplishing our goals. This could also be things around authority figures, your status in life, and really climbing the ladder for success here. Like, share, and subscribe, family. Hit the notifications bell so that you can be notified every time We go live here and spread the word. You know, the more we get likes, the more you spread the word. It helps the channel get noticed by others. So we appreciate it in advance. But yeah, Capricorn and Mars is like a very, very, very hard worker. This is somebody who's going to sacrifice to get things done. You know, there's going to put in the hard work that it takes to get things done. You know, they know that you got to wake up, you got to get up in the morning and work hard all day and put in the effort to get things done. This transit wants the highest rank. It wants to be looked up to. It wants to be respected because you worked really hard for something, right? This isn't kind of like the respect like, I demand respect because. No. You know that you sacrifice and was disciplined and trained yourself to get things done. You planned, you organized, you put your emotions aside, and you said, you know what? I know that I have to do this in order to meet this goal. And that's exactly what this transit's going to do. So again, I like that aspect of it because I actually miss those parts of myself, if I can say so, because I learned a very valuable lesson around this time about being that way, and I kind of slowed down and stopped. So when I was going through and taking the notes for this, I was like, oh, yes, once upon a time, I remember what it meant to be the little dedicated bumblebee, you know? And so for this 6 weeks, the next 6 weeks, we'll have that energy and we can work towards it if we put our mind to it. Now, on the downside to this, Mars rules guns, knives, cutting, police, and violence. And Capricorn rules government structures, systems, power and control, and laws. So we can see a lot of laws changing, money cuts, as well as the closing of more businesses, maybe even work opportunities closing down or out or not available anymore, ending of business partnerships. And of course, these are things that could be happening in our own lives as well, too, as business and career people. We can also be very aggressive around achieving our goals and willing to do whatever it takes to succeed. We can be very competitive and bossy. Or like, a Mars and Capricorn person doesn't like wasting time, resources, or money. So if you owe somebody money at this time and you're like, oh, I don't have it to give back to you at this time, but you told a Mars and Capricorn person that you was going to have it at this time, that could cause somebody to be pretty angry. and pissed off about it. You know, it's the principle of it. And if you knew you didn't have it at that time, then you should have probably called ahead of time and said, hey, look, I know I told you that I was going to have A, B, and C at this particular time, but I might need an extension. So there could be that kind of thing going on here. If you show up late for work any particular time, maybe your boss wouldn't care. But with this energy, be careful, because your boss might react a little differently than you're used to. And you might be like, whoa, where the heck did that come from? And it's like, well, it came from the fact that you said you know you're supposed, what time you're supposed to be at work, and you're not there, and you're supposed to be. So people might not be so reluctant to care for whatever excuses you have at this time. That's just the honest God truth. You know, on the flip side, obviously you want to work on your anger. So we can be asking ourselves, how can we use our anger more wisely? How to accept mistakes and learn from our mistakes, which is naturally to just kind of separate yourself, right? Going back to that idea of cutting. A Mars and Capricorn person on the higher vibration is not going to indulge with nonsense. They're going to distance themselves. So somebody who's a bit of a loner. You could, how do you say it? Like, overwork yourself, you know, to avoid dealing with conflict, right? Or, you know, maybe you might want to invest in like a boxing exercise, or karate even. Anytime we're talking about Mars, the best way to deal with it is karate. So meditating, you know, those kind of spiritual attributes will work better at this time. Instead of cursing somebody out, let's try not to do that. You know, again, making the mature decision. So just remember, this could cause some frustration around accomplishing our goals in the beginning, because we have the retrogrades. And I know I keep saying this, and you guys are probably like, Keisha, you said that about 10,000 times, because a lot of the times, if you're asking questions like, why is this specific thing happening to me? This is, I'm telling you, this is what it is. I'm trying to let you know where the frustration is coming from. And 9 times out of 10, it will be more than likely anything else. It's the retrogrades that people are still kind of coming out of this fog. You know, this sleepiness, this grogginess, this slow moving energy. And even though in our hearts, in our body, in our minds, we are ready to go. Trust me, we're ready. It's not particularly the person, it's the energetic field of that retrograde that needs to still pick up. So this is happening. Today is the 24th. We are still in retrograde phase. The planets Venus in Capricorn does not go direct until the 29th. And the 29th, then you still have shadow phase. So it'll be direct, but it needs to get back up to its speed of when it went in retrograde. and that's going to take until the beginning of March. I'm just going to keep it honest with you. And then we have Mercury in retrograde. And Mercury goes direct on February 3rd. February 3rd. And so it's direct now, but it still needs to pick up speed. And so, again, I'd say the first week of March, we're going to be still slowly fading out. But the positive thing to that is that Mars in Capricorn, first of all, it's exalted in Capricorn. Let's just celebrate that for a moment. So that's a good thing. Secondly, it's like, Capricorn is an earth sign. It's very slow and calculated anyway. And so this picking up speed thing here is still perfect for this energy when it comes to slow and steady wins the race, right? Capricorn is all about a progressive jump, one foot in front of the other. We're not doing the speedy thing anymore. People are so uninterested. I told you, I've been talking about the feminine energy is to, sit back and attract, right? And Capricorn is a feminine sign. That might bother some people, but it is. And so in this sense, it appreciates the slow and steady pace. And it's good for coming out of a retrograde and understanding that first and foremost, we're going to have, as these planets go direct, we are going to have some more pieces of the puzzle from a retrograde coming in. And so we might have to switch some things up and change them around. This is great for the retrograde. And it's like the precursor to the big jump off. That's how I'm going to call it. The precursor to the jump off. It's like you're playing, ooh, I got an example. It's like, say somebody who plans for events, right? Anybody who plans for events, you're going to understand this metaphor I'm about to use right now. Let's say, for example, every year, it's about to be February, you plan a big event for Black History Month, right? Every year, same time, same venue, same everything. You know what it takes to plan a yearly event like that? It's always 6 months prior that you are like, bop, 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 bop. What do you want? What do you want to do? You got to call and make the arrangements. You got to get things in order. And so, in a sense, this period of these planets waking up and gaining speed each day is like, it's like the rundown of double checking everything that you've already put together until the day of when that speed is really there, and then that's it. That's the party. And you get to see everybody having a good time, the hard work that you put into it. It's beautiful. The outcome is magnificent. Yes, I made up that word. You know what I'm saying? And that is why I felt like, OMG, this is like the best. This is the best freaking possible energy to have for the abilities that we have coming to us right now, especially if you're somebody who's been working really, really hard to accomplish these goals, to learn these lessons, to change your life. You don't want to be the same old person you've been. You're ready to step into this new revolution that is coming to us. It's just, I mean, I can go on and on and on talking about how I think this is like the perfect storm. Like, genuinely. And so, you know, we're waking up from the depression and fear of success and not feeling worthy, and all these things are getting ready to be cut out, and we have all this time to kind of come out of that and work on those things, becoming a boss and demanding respect because you did the work, though, right? And they're going to be long term. And anytime you successfully surpass a lesson of Capricorn, you get Capricorn gives gifts. I should really say Saturn, because it's not Capricorn. It is most definitely Saturn that's giving the gifts. But you understand Saturn being the ruler of Capricorn. And so in that way, you get to manifest those things and bring them into fruition. And that ultimately is going to change your life. You can show up as a new person, Capricorn, status change, recognition, you know, kind of getting your flowers here on to the world stage. If there's this is an opportunity to let go of anything that has been bothering you for a long time. I'm just making sure I haven't forgotten anything. And then we have this beautiful energy of Jupiter connecting with Mars and Capricorn, which I absolutely love, because Jupiter being in Pisces right now, this is going to help with the detachment if people are trying to detach from the world, or the ignorance, right, of somebody just like trying to waste your time going back to those things that I was saying, right? Then you're going to have even more opportunities to take the high road and just, you know what, I can't worry about what so-and-so ain't doing. I'm just going to continue doing what I got to do. And you'll have more compassion and understanding. I think that's a good word for anything like on the lower vibrations of this energy. And you'll have more faith to trust the process, right? Even letting go of clarity, fogginess, and addictions, maybe even sleep more, but letting go of the illusions, delusions, you know. You're going to be cutting through all of that stuff, which I think is amazing. And I think it's going to feel amazing too. And then Mars, Venus, and Pluto will conjunct. And this is actually a really cool kind of like love story here. You can have love experiences that you've never had before. Take a risk in love. And just overall great opportunities for love in general. And it's going to be very uplifting, upbeat. And just an overall good feeling, I think, you know. And then those same planets will move into Aquarius, and then we'll have another conjunction, which is the same conjunction that we had at the end of 2020. So if you think back to what was happening back then, oh God, I remember. I'm mad that I can remember. This is when I caught COVID. It was right around Christmas time. I'll never forget it. From my job, right? And so we can be reassessing that time, especially on the world stage. The government will definitely be reassessing this, and hopefully we'll have solutions this time with the Aquarius planets, right? I mean, with the Aquarius planets. Oh, that is not what I meant to say. Especially now with the planets in Aquarius and Uranus being direct, right? It's like we are assessing whatever was going on at that time and how we handled it. Could we have done better with new innovative solutions? You know, like that. A lot. You know, and so hopefully, you know, we're seeing some better results from that. Hopefully they technocrat everything. I'm just saying. I don't think technology is the best solution for the long term. And I definitely think that we should be making sure that whatever we do, we are assessing, you know, how much technology we're using and such. I've definitely had a change of heart with the information that I'm learning around that. Especially if they're going to try to use it for controlling. You know, that's the real underlying message there. Or the elephant in the room, right? I think when we think about all these new technology things, they're so super cool and really allow us more freedom as a humanity. But then at the same time, we have to be careful that we're not over. There always has to be a balance. You know, there always has to be a balance. And we can't forget as humans that if we give too much power to technology, then we lose freedom there. And so we have to make sure that we're not walking into the same trap that we did this very same time around the last time, you know, a big change like this happened and we became slaves to work, right? And so now we'll become slaves to technology. We really, 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 really have to be excuse me. We have to be mindful of that, right? But overall, this is really the opportunity for a new beginning in some way, shape, or form around whatever was happening or coming up for you at this time. And I really genuinely think, just thinking quite literally from my experience, what was happening around that time is that's what I was feeling. First and foremost, I was pissed off at my job because they begged us to come back and then we all freaking got sick. I promise you, the whole company was sick. And they treated us like crap. And so people may be on this very same wavelength if they had this experience where they're like, I'm not going to work for somebody who's disrespectful. You know, I'm a hard worker, Capricorn. I'm passionate about what I do, Mars. I'm going to need you to put some respect on my name and give me my flowers. And then we're talking about Aquarius now. Aquarius is all about the energy. I'm not putting all my energy into that no more, because that's not the new, right? What we learned from this time is not to overwork, not to become a workaholic, not to forget about our family. So balance. You know, is there a way that workers now can still have a job and not be harassed around this stupid COVID crap or getting the shot crap, and we can still, you know, help companies by working, but from home, where we can still be with our families, set up some new laws and rules and, you know, respectable restrictions around those things. Have the expectations still be able to be met with some kind of flexibility. You know, we want to let go of the rigidness of what work used to be. That's the bottom line here. And if we don't, and we're not careful, then we'll be repeating the past. And so we have a really wonderful opportunity here to come up with some better ways when it comes to working, balancing out our family, and same thing with business. And maybe even coming up with some better solutions for the shot, which that was a long shot. No pun intended. You know, we'll see about that. That I'm sure will be a much longer process to work out. Hell, I think even the work and being flexible is a much longer conversation. But I want to put it out there in people's minds that this time around, as workers, we need to fight for those things, right? Because people aren't just out there dying from COVID. People are out there dying because we're not mindful of the rights that we have, and we're not using them, and we're not fighting for them, we're not asking for them, and we're not standing in our ground. Remember, we came out of Venus Capricorn, and that was all about value. It's not just about relationships here when we're talking about Capricorn. We are talking about our values and how we are valued when it comes to work and business, right? So I digress. You know, because you already know I could go another hour talking about that. But don't forget who you are and what you learned over this time is not to settle, period. With anything when it comes to work, business, and love, friendships, relationships, partnerships, none of it, you know. And then also, there could be a lot of, again, just remember, weather things. Whenever we're talking about Jupiter, Pluto, and Mars coming together, there's that opportunity of some crazy weather coming in. So be mindful of that. Earthquakes. Here is probably snow, so we'll probably get a whole lot more snow than we've gotten. We actually have done good so far. What are we at? The end of January. We still got February and March. Yeah, we have the potential for some more volatile weather, storms and such. And so, I'm just checking to make sure I didn't forget anything, family. Looks like I covered everything. So, yeah, man. I hope that you are taking a stance. And as usual, I love and appreciate every single one of y'all.